Howdy peeps, welcome to or welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, hope you find it enjoyable. If you've been here before, you kind of know what to expect. So today we're doing water change on my Skittles tank, my neocaridina cherry shrimp, and I do it differently to how a lot would say to do it, so I thought I'd show how and upset a bunch of people, because you know that's what I'm good at. First job, get the lid off and take a look at the grimness that is in there. Oh well, never mind. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the air pump, because where I'm going to be mounting the camera, it's basically right behind it, and all you'll hear is air, so we'll do that. So much quieter. So I'll show you the tools I'm going to use today. We have a bucket of dechlorinated tap water mixed to an exact temperature of meh, close enough. We have an empty bucket and a jug. We have a Denelay Nano gravel vac, I guess you'd call it, and something's neon. So let's get this started, shall we? Get the camera mounted up somewhere so you can see what's going on, and hopefully no one decides to kick it again. Let's see, can we zoom in? We can. We might be better off coming a bit further this way and angling the camera around a bit more though, because we are mounting the camera in the top of the 200 litre. That's a bit better. Right, so first things first, get some water out. So gravel vac, aim it in there somewhere. You're going to need quite an angle, scare the shrimpies out of the way. And we should hear when it starts running. There we go. So yes, I know, gravel vac in a shrimp tank, and I hope I haven't got my head in front of the shot. My shrimp are used to me doing this, so they tend not to go up the gravel vac. But what I do is when I'm done, I don't just pour the water away. I pour it into the sink and give it a good check through for shrimpy friends, because you know we can't be flushing livestock down the sink, especially when we're breeding for profit anyway. And yes, you will notice there is an alarming amount of green hair algae in here, or as I now call it, Hulk pubes. Yes, you heard me right. That is what I call it these days. And we're blocked up. Which is just a case of getting rid of whatever was blocking it, which, let's be honest, is green hair algae. And this thing has developed so many leaks now. I've stepped on the pump, I've cracked it, done all sorts. I'm not entirely sure exactly where it leaks from now. I think it just leaks from everywhere. So it should suck a lot harder, but it doesn't. That'll do for that side. Here's where we really clog it up, because under here is full of green hair algae and gunk. What I'm doing is, obviously it's sucking up the gravel as well, so if you see me pressing down on the thing, that's just to clear the gravel out the tube. Let's go down behind the filter. It's surprisingly clean this week. That may have something to do with me fixing the air pump, so it sucks a lot, or pushes a lot more air through it now. If you'd like a video on how I did that, let me know in the comments. I say fixed, what I mean is cleaned. It was clagged up with gunk inside. Probably something to do with me being a relatively heavy smoker. Just move some of the moss out of the way. And yeah, I know I'm giving it a good stir up. Get plenty of gunk removed. It does build up surprisingly quickly in here. But then it is only a 20 litre tank, or 5 gallon. And it's got several hundred shrimps in it. So we're done with that. Which means that bucket can go out the way now. Well, actually it can't, because we still need to clear the Hulk pubes. Next thing we have is a decorator's window scraper that takes the single-sided razor blades. Those ones, that one's been used a couple of weeks, so it's gone rusty. And we literally just scrape down the glass. And I know you're thinking, but surely you should do that before you siphon the water out. Yeah, you probably should. But the shrimp tends to go nuts for eating it, so once it's free floating in the water, the shrimp chase it around and munch it. With alarming alacrity. So as you can see here, I'm basically breaking every rule so far. But that's just the way I roll. As I say, these are neocaridina shrimp, not caridina shrimp. If you've got caridina shrimp, I would suggest doing your water changes the way people say to do them, with all the dripping and the gentleness and the parameter matching. So now we get to, well, maybe not all, we'll get rid of some of the green hair algae, Hulk pubes, as I heard them called recently. That's a big old mat. Come on, out you come. And we'll give it a quick swoosh in our hand before we take it out of the water, because we don't want to be taking shrimp with us if we can help it. It does tend to accumulate alarmingly quickly in here. It's almost like it needs a pleco in here, because the shrimp don't eat it. I mean, the shrimp eat what lives in and on the algae, so it's not a bad thing. I'm at an angle where I'm trying to keep my head out of shot, but it means I can't see anything that's going on in the tank. So if I change my angle slightly, we might be able to, there we go. I'm saying this is, I do this every week. All my tanks get at least a weekly water change, if not bi-weekly in the case of some of them. Another mat of algae. And so this water won't be poured straight down the sink, it will, or on the garden. It will get poured into the sink and then checked through carefully just to make sure we're not throwing out the shrimp with the, well, baby with the bathwater, as it were. Now what I'm also doing is I'm trying to get as much of the gravel out of the algae as I can, because, you know, we don't want to pull all the substrate out of the tank. There's all sorts of good stuff living in that. Yeah, close enough. If we just mix up the substrate a bit, perhaps we can bury some of the algae and it will die off on its own. Next thing, pull the sponge off the filter, check there's no shrimpies on that, dunk it in the water, give it a squeeze out. It may not look it, but there are hundreds of shrimp in this tank, and they may be small, but they still poop. An alarming amount, actually, sometimes. When you see them trailing a string behind them. Right. Sponge back on. I think we might have to scrape the back of the tank, just to give us somewhere we can actually stick the air pump to. Oh, stick the filter to, I say. There we go. I normally try and leave the back and sides of the tank to go nice and green, because hey, it's extra free shrimp food. Wipe any slime or gunk off the back of the suction cup. Oh, shrimpy. And re-stick that in. Shake hand off. And now's the bit that's really going to upset people. If that wasn't brutal enough, now I'm going to refill. So we take the jug, refill it with water, submerge it, and slowly tip. This is to just make sure that we don't disturb everything massive amounts or flood the place. It's not going to take the whole second. No, nowhere near. So yeah, this is my version of adding water slowly. As long as we pour it onto the moss, we're okay. And there we are. Water change done. The only other thing I'll do, if I can find my syringe, there we go. 5ml Calpol syringe, hydrogen peroxide, 3%, food grade. And just hopefully we get some in the syringe. Yeah, we've got a couple of mil. And we just apply that mostly to the heater. And mainly because it's covered in algae and therefore rather inefficient. So if we can kill some of the algae on the heater, it will be more efficient. We'll save money on our electric bill, which, let's be honest, they're all going through the roof. I do have some ideas on that which I will film into another video at some point. So there we go, how a Sharpie does a water change on a shrimp tank. Now what I will do is I shall just grab the camera if I can disentangle it from light mounting brackets and stuff and bring you down. And because we're on the GoPro, if we angle it back a bit like so, we can then have a quick plop underneath. Don't think we have to get too as always. I appreciate the audio is probably on weird and me shaking the camera about is not helping, but trying to get some of the water out of the microphone. Anyway, if you've stuck with me this far, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below in doobly-doo. Like, comment, subscribe, memberships are open, share, all the good things. But most of all, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your hobby. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye.